Hard work, hard work, hard work, hard work, hard work, work. There you go.
Forward!
Hard work, hard work, hard work, hard work, hard work, work. There you go.
Forward!
Hard work, hard work, hard work, hard work, hard work, work. There you go.
Forward!
Hard work, hard work, hard work.
Fall in.
Hey, what's good? What's good? Sorry, I'm a little bit late. Actually clicked into the wrong stream. I had to let the E2G personnel know. So all praises and of course apologies to one New Patriots place for messing up a stream. But in any case, I'm back. It's your boy Trey. E2G Sports Networks presents First Formation Morning Sports Talk. You heard the intro. Fall in with us as we get back to what's good and what's been going on in the latest in sports. I had a couple of things going over while we were gone for the short amount of time, but we're here. I'm here. So let's talk about it. First and foremost, what's good, Eric? What's going on, fam? Glad to see you in formation this morning, brother. What's good? What's good? Miss you, man. Of course, I have to do a quick shout out as my brethren Cyber 5 Military Fraternity Incorporated is engaged on the Nashville, Tennessee area as they get ready to welcome in the latest line. Of course, our sisters, Cyro Kai, they're there as well. Maybe some of them will tap in this morning. I wasn't able to be there this morning. Good morning, Jackie. I hope you're out there on the open seas. Sorry I couldn't be there with you. But in any case, you know what I'm saying? What's good, everyone? Glad to see everyone's up and Adam, basically, you know what I'm saying? No pun intended. But of course, let me sip and see what we got. Uh, a few things happened in the course of a few days in which he is out. Apologize. They definitely apologize. But in any case, well, we didn't get to cover because I wasn't around. I wasn't here. Hopefully, Ron taps in. I think a special guest we'll have today. I don't know if Vicious is pulling up. Um, but we basically uh, missed a few things, of course. I didn't get a chance to come on here and rant and rave about them Trojans that's going to be facing off this weekend. Actually, tonight. Actually, I did get the chance to talk about it because a couple people did chime in. So tonight, if you ain't know, USC Trojans, fourth ranked USC Trojans in the CFB, would take on the 11th ranked Utah Utes in the Pac-12 championship. Of course, if USC is able to win tonight, they will most likely punch their ticket into the college football playoff, their first appearance in it since their reign as a dominant dynasty in the college football era. Of course, they were reigning during this BCS, but now we're talking about the CFP, and they haven't made an appearance. There has been only one Pac-12 team actually that has made an appearance in the CFP since it came in, and that was Oregon in the initial year. There you go with the shenanigans there, Eric. You know what? I understand it. I understand it. I understand you. That's what you want to keep them Trojans out, but it ain't gonna happen. They're gonna get in. They're gonna defeat the Utes, get in. Most likely end up facing off against them Georgia Bulldogs in the first round. And let's go. Let's go. We ready for it. We want all the smoke. Knock off the Bulldogs, then take care of whoever's there next, whether it be Michigan, whether it be TCU, whoever it is, Bama, Tennessee, whoever, whenever it's going down. Lincoln Riley and the USC Trojans. Now, I don't know if it's going to go that far, but I can say if we take care of business tonight, that should solidify the CFP ticket for us, as well as most likely punch the ticket for Caleb Williams as the Heisman Trophy, giving USC yet another one in this notch. Just wait, you know what I'm saying? Just wait, Eric. Just wait, fam. Just you know what I'm saying, hear me out. Just wait on it. We'll see if it's going to come to fruition. I'm optimistic about it. Like, everyone wants to keep us down. Everyone keeps like, if when USC does this, I want to nix 9 all the conversation about the Pac-12 being whatever it is they're trying to say it was. We're going to see. We're going to see in a second. Uh, oh, oh, work. We should see. It's not within I woke up. It's a possibility. It's a great possibility. Anything is possible is what we owe. No, I won't say that yet. See, here you go. Here you go, fighter. Why, fighter? Why did you have to come on this morning with that? We good, man. Just wait. Just wait. Just wait. All the signs are lining up. Just wait. You know what? I'm not going to talk because I don't want to put the carriage in front of the horse. Because first we got to take care of business tonight. Everything is not guaranteed. We got to take care of business tonight after we handle Utah. Then we have to wait to even see if they're going to allow us in. They might try to keep us out. I know I'm talking like a fan right now, so I'm going to cease and desist with that conversation. But in state is the top 6 currently are Georgia at number 1. At number 2, you got Michigan. Number 3 is TCU, and number 4 is USC. Of course, the 3 teams ahead of the Trojans are undefeated, with Georgia facing off against LSU tomorrow in the SEC championship, which is not too far-fetched that Georgia can potentially lose against LSU. As we know, Daniels, who was out, he is expected to play, so he's going to be there to try to dethrone them Bulldogs. Additionally, you got Michigan that would be facing off against the Purdue Spoilmakers. Is that who's going to show up? Because let's not fool ourselves. Last year, Purdue was knocking cats off, like saying, put it on their scopes, got them. That was what was going on last year. Maybe they, one more time, they reach up out the depths to pull Michigan down with them and knock them off. Then we got TCU. They're supposed to face off against Iowa State. They're facing off against TCU will face off against bear with me 1 second. TCU will face off against 10th ranked Kansas State. So maybe Kansas State gets in. Maybe Maybe Kansas State take care of business, knocks off TCU, give them that one in that notch. And then, like you said, we have the USC Trojans who are playing tonight against the Utah Utes. Utah is the only team to give USC an L with that 1-point victory, 43-42 in Utah. But now Utah has to go to the Coliseum to take on USC in the Pac-12 conference. The last time USC played in the Pac-12 championship, they was upended by a University of Washington team that replaced Oregon because they had too many players that went out due to COVID, and USC wasn't ready, and they got walloped in that Pac-12 conference championship game. But we ready. They're ready now. Let me not speak as a fan. I perceive that they're ready now. Lincoln Riley has a clicking. 19 portal transfers has done the Trojans a great amount of good. So now they have put themselves in position to be in the CFP. Lincoln Riley, yet another appearance in the CFP, as he had a couple while he was in Oklahoma. Now he's in Trojan land, and we'll see as they take on the number 11 ranked Utah Utes. Additionally, of course, you got the American Athletic Championship will be played tomorrow. UCF, the 22nd ranked UCF, will be traveling to 16 ranked. It could, possible. All of it could happen. Eric, it's all. At this point, ain't nothing guaranteed. Tulane, let's go. I see y'all New Orleans Stand Up American Athletic Championship. Number 18th ranked Tulane takes on UCF. UCF was one of two teams to give Tulane an L this year. Let's see if it comes back or if they could avenge that. Like I said, Michigan against Purdue. North Carolina, 23rd, North Carolina will host the 9th ranked Clemson Tigers as they get ready to do battle tonight. I mean, not tonight, tomorrow for the ACC championship. And then, of course, on Sunday, we'll have the CFP. What's good, Stoves? Good morning. Glad to see you, formation, brother. Of course, we have the CFP correction, not the CFP selection Sunday, as we will know who will be the top 4 teams in the country to have an opportunity to play for the championship later in January. Or is it February? Whichever one. Which brings me, I was just saying 12. If you've been under a rock, or they're saying we haven't been here to issue and let it be known, the college gods have spoken and allowed you to get what it is you've been asking for. No, CFP versus Purdue. That's not what USC versus Purdue is not. We're getting shows. I know you will like that, but I don't foresee it happening. But in any case, like I said, oh my God, my brains itch. In any case, the college football has elected to expand to 12 playoff teams come the 24-25 season. Now, initially, they thought about it coming out in 2026, but they had to get certain things solidified. There was a few hurdles in which they had to clear in order to make it happen. But now, of course, those hurdles will be cleared. The last hurdle was that of the Rose Bowl that was willing to be, of course, y'all know, called the granddaddy of them all. They was really had to buy in to the CFP playoff. Of course, the Rose Bowl was trying to finagle, get there to make things happen. There was a few favors in which they was asking to be given. So, in which they just couldn't amount to. The Rose Bowl wanted a primetime slot, a particular primetime slot for games in which they were not a part of the CFP, in which they couldn't be given. They were asking for certain other things which couldn't be figured out because they have not yet signed another deal when it comes to the media and rights. So Rose Bowl had to be convinced that that everyone was going to work diligently to get them the best that they can when everything is settled. So the Rose Bowl went ahead and said they're in. In-state is the Rose Bowl would have been locked out after the CFP plan would have expired had they not went ahead and submitted to that. So with the Rose Bowl submitted to that, they were able to solidify and look forward to going forward with 2024. The basically not next season, but the season after that, the CFP will expand to 12 teams as opposed to the current 14 format, which means more of an opportunity to get players or teams into the fold. I'm not sure how they're going to do it yet. In my personal opinion, it would be good if they were to go with in my opinion, honestly, I have two scenarios. One scenario being the top five. I mean the Power Five, the other 5 champions, which is 10, which ends up being 10 champions. Correction, and then you give 2 at larges. Of course, in doing that, you put it's not going to work because it's like you're putting champions against champions. Some more tiers are better than others, and then you have a problem. But should be what it is. You know, what I'm saying, a champion versus champion. But case what most likely they're going to do is Power 5, the top Power 5, and then they're going to probably give 7 at larges to whomever they deem should be able to get in. I mean, that maybe too, but so that's a double-edged sword in my opinion. Anthony, good, glad to see you, information fam. It's a double-edged sword for the most part in my opinion because you don't know who you're going to get. Like, true enough, you try seeing the same people, but at the same time, if you take care of business, then business will take care of itself. We're not seeing right now. We're not seeing Alabama or Clemson in the CFP. We have a new. I mean, Georgia has just instituted himself, injected himself into the fold. So now you have a Georgia that is there. Then additionally, you have um, potentially USC could be new to the fold. Uh, TCU could be new to the fold, and then Michigan, although they're like Georgia making their second appearance, they can be new to the fold too. So the usual suspects, Clemson, Alabama, are currently sitting outside. Ohio State sitting outside. There's no Oklahoma, so the people who we've been accustomed to seeing aren't there currently. And so, I mean, it worked out this year because teams played, it was handled on the field for the most part, and now they're in position to where we can see different people, except for Georgia. That's not, and then we don't know. Georgia might get knocked off. Now, of course, if Georgia get knocked off, that opens the door for an Ohio State or Alabama, as Alabama or Ohio State sit at Ohio State number 5 and number 6 is Alabama without any games to be played. So center stage is basically on the champions to where all the implications now currently lie. So I mean, it remains to be seen what we're going to see. Um, True that it's there. That is so possible. Teams with good records that won't make the playoffs because of their conferences. That is such a true statement. So, but it's going to be like that because 12 teams is not 12 slots is nowhere, in my opinion, near enough to for them to be able to put it to play to have that to where you could solidify even a remotely any type of situation to where you can get those teams playing. So it really becomes the best of the best. And unfortunately, that is going to be decided on upon a committee of people that are going to even one fight to get those people in, or two are just going to be like, you know what, this is what it's going to be. It's unfortunate because even when you look at it, currently the what's that? It's on the tip of my tongue. I'm sorry. When you even let's look at the NFL for the most part right now. I was just taking a look, and so right now you have a 7-4 San Francisco 49ers, who are the currently NFC West leading team, top team in the NFC West. But the Cowboys are 8-3, and they're sitting at a 5th seed right now. So it's going to happen. Hell, you got the 5-6 Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That's number 4 with the Cowboys sitting at the 5th seed slot. So I mean, it's happening. It's, what I'm saying, you win your conference, you get in, unless there's something which is going to slip and say we're going to go with the best record possibility, and then that changes the tide a little bit. Um, but until then, all you got to do is win your conference, and then you will be able to make your way uh, and be able to be live in prime time. So, but like I said, tonight, number 4 versus number 11 in the Pac-12 championship. Tomorrow, number 3 versus number 2, TCU and Kansas State for the Big 12 championship. Number 1, Georgia faces off against the LSU Fighting Tigers, Bayou Bengals. Number 1 versus 14 in the SEC championship tomorrow at 3. Oh, looky here, looky here, looky here. What do we have here? Just as I was sitting talking about that man sporting the maize. Ron, what's good, buddy? As you got your colors on, I guess I don't need to ask the question: do we see the Boilermakers or the Spoilermakers come tomorrow afternoon?
The spoil maker. Spoil for who? For Michigan?
Spoil for Michigan.
Ain't no way. Ain't no way. We're pressure free. We're coming off a Super Bowl win. We just
But
having
that So it's not safe to say that that Super Bowl win to be what y'all gonna be like. You know what? That was good enough for us.
You must be trying to figure out how to get USC into the playoffs.
We're good. All we got to do is win, baby. Like in the words of Al Davis at the Coliseum back in the 70s, just win, baby. That's all we need to do is just win. And we solidify a CFP ticket punch as well as a Heisman coming back home as well. Just my opinion. I don't want to speak as a fan though. I'm trying not to speak as a
I
fan.
didn't see y'all were already ranked number 4. Man.
Yeah, we're good. All we got to do is win. Likely. I mean, that doesn't. So right, yeah. I just see if all we have to do is win. If we don't win, there's no way. If we win, there's no way that they can deny us. Especially when we're already at number 4. Like, how do we drop from number 4 when we're the only teams that's playing, and there was no one else? So there's no way that Tennessee or not Tennessee, Ohio State or Alabama can get above us as long as we win. It'd be so egregious to try to say like, oh, we didn't sit up and take care of business. We won, but we won. It wasn't convincing. Nah, don't play with us like that.
No, y'all are the best one-loss team.
Now, do we remain the best one-loss team if teams like TCU, Michigan, or Georgia lose? Do we remain the best one-loss team?
Maybe if Michigan or Georgia lost, but I think if Michigan lost, y'all definitely jump above us. But maybe only Georgia would stay. Michigan's definitely not losing to Purdue. LSU's coming to fight Georgia.
So it's the only unfortunate thing is their quarterback, their Daniels, is currently nursing his injury. Although he is say he's going to play, but to be hobbled a little bit is not ideal, especially when we're getting ready to face against Georgia. But things have happened. Other things have happened, and I'm ready to see this. I'm ready to see this.
I'm definitely on that upset. I'll put that one in there.
Of course, USC is the first one up as they have their game tonight, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, at home. I hope the city turns up and turns out. Let's go.
Friday night game. What is going on? Friday night.
That's how they doing. But we'll take it. Okay. Let's go, Coach Wayne. That's what I'm talking about. Fight on. Let's go. We ready. We are definitely ready.
So y'all favored by 2.5 points.
Mm-hmm.
At home.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all come away with this?
We're coming away with it. Caleb, as long as Caleb doesn't, I see so much of Patrick Mahomes and Caleb, man. I don't like it, but hopefully, Lincoln can get that off him in the coming days. But I see so much Caleb, and he just got to stop that. He just got to get, direct, almost like a back that you need a one cut and go. Caleb needs you to engage, move, and engage the enemy as best you can to. We don't have to do all the rolling around. Just get it. Just get it and go. Hopefully, Lincoln Riley and his coaching staff have looked at the tape and are looking to counter what Utah did last week, as well as not do too much changing to where Utah is looking at tape too. So Caleb, come in ready to take care of business. We're at home. Correct. One time. USC by 11. Okay, Coach Wayne, I'm rocking with you. Let's get it. 42-31. Oh, correctly, they is. I stand corrected. They're at Vegas, but they're considered the home team. We're in Vegas, so we're saying the odds is with us. Let's go, Trojans. Yeah. Vegas, 42-31. I'm with that. The lucky number. Actually, the lucky number is 1. We just need one more point than Utah.
And I think the fact that it's a rematch is gonna motivate y'all a little bit more.
A vengeance to avenge the loss that the only loss. The only reason we had to wait till this week to be in the CFP is because we had one loss, and it's because Utah gave it to us. Utah has to pay for that.
First Heisman winner since Reggie Bush. Yeah, that man's the real deal. I think everybody in the playoffs should be put on notice. Because he's definitely the best quarterback by far. Mr. 34 touchdowns, 3 interceptions.
That part, 3,400 yards passing.
It's pretty crazy he's only thrown 3 interceptions.
You know what? One thing I have been waiting for at USC for so long, and it took me the other day to realize when I was watching the game, we haven't had a dual threat quarterback in so
Since
long.
since ever.
Since ever. Well, we've had other quarterbacks that was dual threat, like technically Jackson Dart, who left when Caleb came there. He was a dual threat quarterback. Um, and then we've had other ones that was dual threat, but it wasn't seen as dual threat, but they actually were pretty elusive. But in having a true dual threat quarterback, in which we haven't had in since forever, like you were saying, now we have that. Actually, we did have one. He actually came from my high school, but he ran into a couple of things, had to leave. He ended up going to UNLV, and then left UNLV. But yeah, so Coach Uriah, I agree with you. I'm looking forward to as a fan and as saying as a sports analysis or media person. I look forward to is the Pac-12 needs a win, and this would get the Pac-12 win, especially when USC is about to leave to go to the Big Ten. Let's go out with a bang uh, and leave the conference with some type of notoriety. Uh, and saying we don't have to move up. I won't. I would like to see USC in Georgia. I want that, Ron. I want it.
I didn't realize TCU finally played somebody good. I don't know what I've been looking at, but Kansas State, we need y'all to do the Lord's work and get TCU up out of here.
So TCU, think about it, they played actually a few good people. They played like I think the record 5 or 6 uh
Earlier in the season.
yeah, ranked whether it was early ranked, but Kansas State was pretty high ranked when they took care of them. Yes, I do, Eric. I want Georgia. I want Georgia. I know we've asked for SEC teams before. When we asked for USC, asked for Alabama and got them and got all of them in a national stage. But I want Georgia coming this time around.
I think Eric's talking to me.
What happened now?
I think Eric's saying he's right. He don't want TCU don't need to lose because that way
Oh,
Michigan can have an easy win in the playoff if we get them. Yeah, Alabama.
nah, they gonna give the Ohio State.
One
You gotta
loss
crawl
Ohio.
before you walk.
Who's he talking about?
He's talking to me because I keep on saying I want Georgia.
Baby steps, sir. Tread lightly.
Nah,
First
fam, we want all the smoke.
First time back in like what, a decade and a half?
It's been a long time.
Slow down.
It's inevitable. That's what we're gonna get. The only way we don't get Georgia is Georgia has to lose, and then TCU and Michigan win. That's the only way we don't get Georgia, because you can't deny them at that point. Is it a possibility that Georgia falls all the way down to number 4 if they lose, and everyone else wins?
I don't see why not. It would make sense.
But Georgia is not falling out. That's definite.
Right. I know Caleb can, get with Georgia, but aren't you afraid for y'all defense? That y'all there's just no way y'all gonna be able to stand a chance against them on any relevant form or fashion. I don't think y'all been that prominent defensively. throughout the season. Yeah, 27 against Notre Dame, 45 UCLA. I shut Colorado down, but that's
That's
Colorado.
Colorado. We played five. We played five. This will be our fifth ranked opponent this year because we played Oregon State. We played uh UCLA, Utah, and Notre Dame, and now we got Utah again. So we played five ranked opponents, and we've only lost to one of them. And the one we lost to was by 1 point. But like you said, we have used offense as defense and the ability to outscore.
Yeah,
And technically,
30.
to be honest, we needed. Here go Eric with the shenanigans.
I trust in the QB, but I hope that defense gonna get ran through.
Well, it was the defense that helped us to beat UCLA.
Speak on it.
So
Oh yeah, that's the game y'all had like all them interceptions.
it was the defense that had that last second and that had the interception in the last 2 minutes of the game that afforded us the opportunity to get the ball back, and Caleb just basically ran it out.
Okay.
So I mean, but like I said, well, I'm not gonna say baby steps. One step at a time. Utah is who we need to take care of first, and then we would go on from there. NCAA wants to get Utah, Alabama, or Ohio State in the playoffs. It's possible if the teams that are there. The only way the NCAA can't do that without the teams ahead of them winning. As long as everyone that was supposed to win wins, we don't see Alabama or Ohio State. If one loses, correction. If one of two loses, we see. If one of three loses, we see one of them. If Georgia loses, Georgia is not falling out. If Michigan loses, Michigan is falling out. If USC loses, they're falling out. If TCU loses, they're falling out. I think the only person that's safe and won't get a lot that won't fall out is Georgia, but they will fall down. But then you open the door for Ohio State and or Alabama to get in, and that's what it is, in my opinion. So yeah. So a lot has been going on. Oh my goodness. A lot has been going on when it comes to the NBA, of
Oh,
course.
Lord.
First and foremost, the ATL, their duo, not the duo that you expect, but the duo of DeAndre Hunter and John Collins are expected to miss some time as DeAndre Hunter suffers a right hip flexor strain, and John Collins suffers a left ankle sprain that has swelling. Both are expected to miss some time. Of course, John Collins is expected to miss 2 weeks before he's reevaluated again. Hunter is expected to miss a week before he's reevaluated. All in all, with that being said, they're going to be missing out on 27 points in which they have to find someone to even pick those points up, or hellacious defense that's going to keep people from overcoming those 27 points. As DeAndre Hunter is averaging 15 points a game, and John Collins is averaging 12 points a game. So even they find output from somewhere else, he does, Anthony. He knows no what for not what he says. And what you're going to talk about in a few. Boston has shored up their position at the 5, even though he's a backup currently. Plays the backup 5, but he is a starting power forward. As they signed Al Horford to a 2-year, $20 million deal on the end of his 4-year, $109 million deal that he got from Philly. Basically, they're trying to avoid what happened in 2019 when Horford left Boston to go to Philadelphia, only to be traded from Philadelphia to Oklahoma City, in which he left Oklahoma City to go back to Boston and has been in Boston the rest of the time. Of course, Al Horford started out his career in Atlanta when it was pretty formidable. Then he went to Boston. He went to Boston in free agency. In 2016, he was in Boston for 3 years. Left for free agency to go to Philly. Was in Philly for a year before being traded. Then Philly went. Then OKC and Boston struck a deal that's took him back to Boston. Is it really a two-way? So I'm finna ask Ron a question. Of course, Coach Uriah, anyone else, feel free to chime in. But before I get to that, I'll get to this point in a second, Coach. Additionally, was it a little presumptuous for them to sign Al Horford, in your opinion, Ron? Because he's the center currently, but actually Robert Williams III is the center, but he's out currently dealing with an injury. So should they have signed him when they have free agency next year? You want to have Miles Turner that's in the fold, Nikola Vucevic, Brooke Lopez, Christian Wood, or your boy Jakob Podol, who are experienced to hit free agency. Would you have signed locked up Al Horford, or could they have took a chance and just waited? Do you think anyone's really chasing Al Horford at 36 years old?
$20 million is a lot of money.
10 years, $10 million a year.
But nevertheless, I love the move. He is the veteran that they need in that locker room. The presence, and we may not remember in the finals, he had a major, he had a major moment.
He did. Game one, was it?
Yeah, that was game one. He won game one for them. And that's really all the Celtics need at this point. He's like the secret sauce. He's the icing on the cake of what they are as a dominant franchise. I think somebody said that the Bucks and the Celtics are in a two-way race.
Yeah, Coach Uriah.
This is the Celtics league, and everybody else is watching. The Celtics ain't racing up against nobody. This is Jason Tatum's year. Dropped 28 in the first half just the other night. The Bucks are right there, but they can't stay healthy. So I feel like it's the Celtics against everybody else. They've been dominating everybody. Prayers for the Heat, man. They just busted the brakes off of them boys. They worn out. So Tatum, Brown, I think the Celtics got like 5 of the top 20 best three-point shooters in the league at this point. The way they're moving the rock and just as a Sixers fan, I hate to admit all of this, Trey, but Al Horford is the icing to the cake. He's just like that perfect 6th, 7th, 8th man that they just can count on whenever they need it. Let's just go to Al for a couple minutes in the clutch. 20 million.
That's a lot. And Coach Uriah says it's assurance and respect. I guess if you got money to burn, that's what you do.
We got money to blow.
And so, you know what? I was just thinking about, because you wasn't on, Ron. I don't think you, when I sit up and did the last, me and Bishop and a couple of the people or high speeds that was in the comments that day had a conversation. I think you came in at the back end where I was like, start, bench, sit. And Jason Tatum was one of them. Jason Tatum, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Luka Doncic. Who will you start, benching, and cutting? I said I'm cutting Tatum. So in this moment where I hear Coach Uriah is like Tatum is the MVP front runner with Giannis behind him, the disrespect to Luka right now, like, where is this going? Coach is like 20 million is not a lot. The Warriors just paid Poole 30 million a year. Coach doesn't care for Poole, so of course he's going to say that. So, like, Tatum is this? Do you agree with Coach Uriah? Tatum is the MVP front runner right now.
That's a wild comparison if you think about it. Comparing Al Horford's money to Jordan Poole's, one that's just starting their career, one that's ending it. You're asking me about the bench cut start?
Yes.
That's tough. I'm gonna plead the fifth on that one.
See, thank you, bro. Like it's not like Tatum, in my opinion, in which we had Coach Myers, Commissioner Myers on as well. He would, like, of course, they like Bishop was like he's cutting Luka because he keeps on saying how Luka doesn't play defense. I beg to differ. Luka doesn't play the best defense, but in-state is sometimes you can turn offense into defense. If you outscoring out of just applying pressure through your point output, it works. It puts pressure on the next man. So I would say I would keep Luka. Giannis and Yuka, who I would keep, I would drop Tatum. Not saying Tatum is bad, just that's what I would go with. I think Luka is more of a threat than Tatum is at this point. But of course, Coach Ryan says Tatum is the MVP front runner. Coach said he would court Luka with no hesitation as well. So I mean, Benedict Mathurin, he's doing good. I know Leslie, he is looking good. Shout out to kid from Arizona. But yeah, so Taylor's like Anthony Price, Tatum's is not winning the MVP. Ron takes the fifth on that conversation, in which I get it. So going back, right? So now what we have is going into the conversation which we're having currently about what Coach Ryan pointed out is the Bucks and the Celtics are two-way race out east. What do you say tonight versus the Lakers? Milwaukee gets Chris Middleton back. Of course, we know he was basically been out since the game 2 of the not the finals of the second round with injury. So he's been back. He's nursed the MCL sprain. He came back in reference to a wrist. If we go back, does Boston even get to the point where we could be talking about them if Middleton was healthy during their series last year? Are we still talking about that?
I don't think we can answer that because I feel like if he was playing in the playoff series, that Boston still would have rose up to the challenge, and it would have been a nasty 7-game series.
It was a 7-game series to begin with.
They
took them 7, but Milwaukee lost in the 7th game.
Yeah, Giannis did take the Celtics 7 games.
Giannis, yes, correct. That is the truth. You are so right. Giannis did. So if Chris, I didn't realize Chris was that potent to where he was the like this is what it is. Like so, I asked everyone out there, healthy Middleton, Boston doesn't exist, is what Coach Uriah is saying. Is that truthful? Do you think that's truthful?
I'm sure I was one of the ones that was saying if Chris Middleton was here last year, they beat the Celtics.
Do they beat Golden State though?
5-6. However, I don't feel that the same way. I feel like it would have been the same result. 7-game series. The winner, we don't know. It probably would have been the Bucks with Middleton, but seeing the way Boston fights, I mean, they didn't go out in 7 games with Golden State, which was a major disappointment to lose in 6. Middleton is underrated. He is, but I don't think he changes that much, Trey.
Okay. That's what basically you get into the real deal. Like, yes, he is, you know what I'm saying, but he doesn't change. He doesn't move the needle that much to where we can definitively say Boston doesn't go and Golden State doesn't win again.
If Batman is out fighting crime on the city and Robin does not show up, is Batman not getting the job done? He still won't get the job done. Now, he would have liked the boy Wonder to be there, but nothing's changing. When Middleton comes back, it's going to be great to see him playing, but it's Giannis against the world anyway. The Bucks. Oh,
Middleton. What's good, Commissioner Miles? Glad to see you for Make Sure this
Giannis
brother.
started the season like 10-0. I'm just like, what in the world is going on? It's gonna be nice to have Robin back and Middleton.
Why he had to come back against the Lakers though? Like we were just starting to get a groove. Like now we have to sit up to debunk the situation. Is like but I look at it, huh?
I said this is good for the Lakers. This is gonna be bad for Milwaukee.
I look at it as I wonder how much work. Like this is his first game. Like how potent it is, or how good is he going to be, or how much rust does he need to get off?
Sloppy, a lot of forced shots, a lot of knocking the rust off. A lot of open fast breaks for Westbrook. Throw the ball up to LeBron James. Lakers, who was feeling themselves. What is it, like 6-1 in the past 7 or so?
Yes, we in the groove right now.
That loss to the Pacers was ignorant. Up 17 in the fourth quarter. I would have been like 5 straight, but I got the Lakers tonight.
I'm rocking with them too, baby. Let's go. I definitely as well. So, of course, like you said, Middleton comes back. He's due back, as we was just having the conversation. Would it had changed had he been there? Would we see Milwaukee 2 in a row? Or would Golden State Hill have been victorious? Who would they have been playing? All that type of stuff, all that conversation. Which Ron basically said he doesn't think the needle would move that much. It's possible. Of course, like you said, it remains to be seen. Late Golden State Warrior forward Draymond Green was assessed a 25,000 fine for obscene language towards a fan after they lost Tuesday night versus the aforementioned Luka Doncic and the Dallas Mavericks. That being said, oddly enough, the Mavericks had the only game last night versus the Detroit Pistons, in which your man Ron Bogdanovich, 30 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, handling Luka, sending Dallas 10-11, Detroit 6-18 on the year, all in overtime. Like I said, Bogdanovich dropped to 30, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, 22 points, 4 rebounds, and 8 assists from Killian Hayes, who was clutch 3-pointer, put the game away. Rookie Jaden Ivey, 16 points, 3 rebounds, 6 assists, 10 points, 6 rebounds, and 1 assist from Alec Burke, 11 points from Jalen Duren, 6 points for Deep Bay, 2 from Knox. Isaiah Stewart had 9 points, 12 rebounds, 19 points, 13 rebounds, 2 assists from Marvin Bagley, and Livers with 6 points for the Mavericks. They was led, of course, by Luka Doncic, 35 points, 5 rebounds, 10 assists. How can you say this man is not the MVP currently? 25 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists from Christian Wood. 26 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists from Tim Hardaway Jr. Dorian Smith, Finney Smith with 6 points, 7 points from Dwight Howe. Reggie Bullock contributed with 6 points. Maxi Kleber with 10 points. Dinwiddie with 6. Hopefully, the signing of Kemba Walker gives the little push to Dallas, and maybe hopefully gets Luka off the ball to where Ron's shaking his head. You don't see it happen.
Ain't no way. Kemba ain't gonna play more than 20 minutes.
DJ with the comment, Ron, your hat is blurry. Please remove it, sir. GA. What's good, DJ?
Coming for our revenge this year.
DJ, I was just telling. I see everyone wants. I want the smoke. He's looking to avenge from last year. I want the smoke. DJ, USC versus Georgia. I'm trying to get that. What's good, fam? Good morning.
I'm thinking this time we play a little bit of trading places with Luka, because unfortunately his team is so washed. They have no defense. It's him, a one-man show. They're not going to work, which is why he's not going to win MVP, because they're going to have too many losses as they go under 500, losing to the Pistons last night. If we swap Luka's place with Giannis or Jason Tatum, what occurs? If he was to go to the Celtics with Jaylen Brown and Jason was to come to Dallas, there's much change. You put Luka around some defenders, like who's the Bucks guard?
Drew Holiday.
Yeah, he don't got no Holiday. Luka don't got no Marcus Smart. Don't got no shooters. Don't got no guys around him. Period. What will happen?
You give the. I think it's a problem. He becomes a whole problem. I really think that, and not saying just to keep that narrative, which I've been saying. But like you said, you put him around. If you put him in Boston, he has defensive players around him. Now it's like you just basically empowered him, because if you could get him to play a little defense, or even if you don't get him to play that much defense, he continues what like coach, commissioner, or someone said the other day, he plays Olay defense. But Anthony Price says that means he has to pass now. Does it? He should be passing now. I mean, he just dropped 10, 35, and 10. So,
I don't
but
like it. Luka is not a ball hog.
To what you were saying, Ron, it makes that is huge. I think, like if we could go back to where it's all started out as, what about Luka in Atlanta still, and Trae Young still in Dallas? Luka in the East, just period. Luka in the East.
If Luka would have went to the Atlanta Hawks, this man would have been in like 5 Migos videos already. He would have been down at Magic all the time. He would have been wild. He would have had cornrows and coming in the stadium talking about walk it like I talk it. We needed Luka in Atlanta. It would have been crazy. It would have been crazy. Yeah. Unfortunately, in the NBA, MVP is like a story, award, narrative. Top 3 record is usually what it takes. Best player on the best team, which is going to be Jason Tatum, guys.
Anthony has a price. Do you see Luka score 40 points if he was in Boston? No, he has a team.
Luka could score 40 points any morning he decides to wake up and I'm coming to the NBA game and I'm going to score 40.
I feel like dropping 4-0 this morning.
30, 40, 50. It's truly up to him if the shot is hot. I think if he's playing around other ballers, he's spent years, 10.
Interesting fact, Rob.
Life playing European ball where it's completely different is more like our college version of ball where you actually move and share the ball. I think he would be great in Boston or Milwaukee. And I think he would be better, way better than Jason Tatum. Now, is he better than Giannis? Giannis is a defensive player of the year, MVP.
Yeah, he's not putting out that much offense to overcome a defense to Giannis. But it's something that you just said, Rod, that I was like, you know what, that actually makes sense. If you put him on a team where you have other scorers, you just made, you know what I'm saying, like you can't lag. You can't try to play play little hidden zones. You can't do all that type of stuff. Like you legitly, and Luka, like you said, Luka will share the ball. So even now, you sit up and limit this man to 20-point triple doubles, or he can go for 30 or 40. Because there's other players.
So I'm hearing a rumor for that missing piece that you're speaking of that may be coming to Dallas. Does anything come different with Dallas Mavericks championship aspirations if they just so happen to acquire Kyrie Irving? That off-ball school.
Oh.
But that's more or less of defense. They would have
But again, that's a huge output. That's like you basically have 2 off guards. Luka could play the 3, I'm sure, as well. But you at minimum you have 2 off guards that can go get it. One with this handle, the other one just dominant. So I think it becomes a lot better. I think Luka comes off the ball more, or he has to share the ball more. But that's a problem, in my opinion, a huge problem.
Yeah, and I think it will work too because Kyrie is great with ball dominant people.
That part.
Dallas or the Lakers. Do we still want him in
at this point, no. At this point, no.
The beginning just a month ago.
Just a month ago, but now I'm cool with what we got right now. Westbrook is starting to thrive in his current role.
We all been telling him go to the bench.
Yeah, it wasn't to say that you're delegate, you're falling off. It's just that's your strength now. You don't need to be You need to be where your ball is yours and yours alone. And coming off as a sixth man, that's like you have a former MVP as your sixth man. Come on, man. Mr. Triple Double himself. Come on, man. That can go get it. And you know what I'm saying? Once you buy into that, it's like, you know what? We're a problem now.
Facts. No fiction.
Now if we could just get rid of Anthony Davis.
Yeah, I would request a trade if I was Luka. It's not really fun being an NBA star on the Dallas Mavericks. Ooh, whoop-de-doo. You want to be in Cali. You want to be in New York, down on South Beach, Atlanta, the major markets. Ask Giannis. I mean, Giannis is different. Boston is a city you want to be a star in. I think Giannis is a different type of cat. He can thrive in
Yeah, he comes from a different type of. He comes from a different lifestyle. Like this man's parent had to hide out. like
Giannis can't be out in these major city, these Houston or Atlanta streets. He oof, we don't know what would happen to the Greek freak, man. He'll be out here wilding, never make it back. Who was we talking about? Luka? Yeah, where Luka needs to play, he needs up out of Dallas.
But where would be a good fit for Luka at this point? Like legitly, taking all that other stuff aside, where would be an actually good fit to where Luka can thrive and potentially and be a contender?
Dream.
Something just came across my screen. It wasn't even thought of, but when it came across my screen, I was like, "Oh snap! What do you think about New Orleans?"
They have a lot of assets. They would New Orleans, Utah, probably the only two teams that could make a trade realistically happen
without giving up core.
Oh, they're gonna have to give up everything.
But I think
one star remaining left.
So, but who do you give up in a Dallas to New Orleans trade? Who of them big three are you giving up? It has to be BI.
If I'm trading Luka, I want Zion and BI.
Ooh, oh, goodness, that's not even worth it at that point.
You got to give up two.
Luka and McCollum is not going to get it.
Yeah, you're gonna have to give up McCollum and one of the other ones. Who you keep is the question.
I think they can get away with draft picks, maybe some offense, maybe Alvarado and BI, or you know what I'm saying, you got Herb Jones who's dealing damage, maybe some of their young talent, maybe the draft pick, and maybe BI can get them Luka.
So they would keep Zion and
you gotta keep Zion and McCollum. You gotta keep Zion. They might, you know what I'm saying? Cause yeah, they got it. Yeah. Because there's certain things they don't need. They don't need Valanciunas, even though I think he would be a good piece. But you don't need to move Valanciunas because you have Christian Wood there. So you know you don't need to move Valanciunas. But definitely, I think if you BI would have to be that person. You have to move BI. And it's not because anything. It's just he's the bigger. He'll be a chip. Like you move BI, some draft picks, and maybe some of the talent, the younger talent that they have. And you keep McCollum, Zion, and add a Luka? Goodness. He is not going to Orlando, Leslie. There's no way, form, and fashion he's in Orlando.
Leslie, cut it out.
They can't even pay him to go there.
Since we're talking about dream team scenarios and going to Orlando, I want him to come to Philly. We give up Harden, Maxey, and Harris, and whatever else. You can have all of the cheesesteaks. We just keep Embiid and Luka.
You think that's enough?
Embiid and Luka?
No, that's not enough. Y'all have to keep Harden or at least Tyrese.
We can fill the rest out. I think you just need to put Luka with another star, and you got Kobe and Shaq times 1,000. What about Jamal Murray and Michael Porter for Luka? Well, that's gonna be no defense. Him and the Joker ain't gonna
Yeah,
work.
that's not gonna work.
Anthony Davis for Luka.
Oh yes, that's nasty. No, it doesn't work. See, Rod, you almost got me there. It
Why
doesn't
doesn't
work.
it?
That doesn't work, man.
Him and LeBron won't work.
No, that doesn't work. That doesn't work.
I think it does. I
That
think
doesn't work.
the Clippers would get into this.
No, we're not going to do that.
I don't think you could trade Luka for anybody though.
He's the face of the NBA, man. In my opinion, I know Bishop feel like Ja is up next. I think it's Luka.
Is Luka, Giannis, and Joker all three non-American players, which is wild. Those are the three. I don't think there's anybody in the league. No, Steph's too old. I'm going with them three. I don't think we could put any three above them three.
Stop it, Anthony. That's
LeBron and the next 5 picks. The Lakers don't got 5 picks. They got 2.
so. We just happen to be talking about the Lakers. LeBron brung up the fact and questioned the media about why is it that he hadn't heard about had any questions in reference to Jerry Jones and his 1957 picture, just as they sit up and ask what was LeBron's comments in reference to Kyrie. Of course, LeBron brung up and let it be known he was an avid Cowboys fan back in the day because the Cowboys, he wanted to associate himself with winners, and the Cowboys were winning back in the day, and it was hard growing up in Cleveland, in Akron, Ohio. I'm sorry. But he said he disengaged from the Cowboys, his love for the Cowboys, when Jerry Jones came out and said he was firing players that were going to protest during Colin Kaepernick's peaceful protest of police brutality, which got him axed from the league and the 49ers back then. So LeBron asked the questions like, why is it y'all haven't asked me a single question in reference to that? But you were all in my grill when Kyrie had his situation going on. Ron, he's just asking for the same energy. Do you agree?
Times 1,000%. I would have also included Brett Favre in there. Why aren't you guys asking me about that? And a couple of other crazy things that go on. Why was it all about Kyrie? But LeBron, we know what you're doing. Because when it was time to come out and support Kyrie, LeBron.
Oh yeah, he walked the kite rope.
I'm like, LeBron, don't you try and do that and try to come back and get the culture after you left it. Adorable, but yeah, LeBron being the master puppet player, stirring the pot as he does. Why aren't y'all asking me about Jerry Jones? Mm-hmm. We know why. We know why, LeBron.
What do you say about the allegations of your man, Ye, accusing the point guard of having an affair with Kim K?
Chris Paul?
Yes. Kanye West posted
it had to be Cliff Paul. Couldn't have been Chris.
It was Chris. He said he's like, let me go ahead and break another window before I leave. Chris Paul had an affair with Kim.
If so, Chris Paul, I am extremely, tremendously, unfortunately disappointed in your choice in women, sir. As the point guard yourself, I'm pretty sure a happily married man. I don't know what you're doing in Kim K's in bed chambers. Why? Why? I could understand the common man. Like if you with the homies, yeah, Kim K. Wow, imagine it would if, but you're in that room, Chris Paul. What do you that's who you decided to, put your family and your career, your namesake on the line for? Paul Davidson's girl, not Kanye's girl. What's his name? Man, that's wild. And Chris Paul, can we bring in another element? Chris Paul is the what's his position with the CBA?
Oh, not
Um,
anymore, but he was. He was the
president.
president. Yeah.
How many men has Kim Kardashian tricked and swept throughout the league? We could do the whole rest of the show on the Chris Humphreys and the Odoms. Chris Paul, you know this. You got posters of the Kardashian sisters in your office when you talking to the young NBA players. What you doing with them? It's a lot of layers, and that's why I said it had to be Cliff.
I don't think it's I don't think it's true. I don't know. Ye just doing what Ye just doing what he does. So I don't, like he said, I don't know how true it is. He posted it though. He did post it saying that, but the truth, how credible it is where it remains. So before we get into the NFL, of course, we want to go over tonight's. It's basically a slate, 11 games tonight. Uh,
Yeah.
the Wizards and the Hornets. Hornets play host to that. The Nets host the Toronto Raptors. The Milwaukee Bucks will host the Los Angeles Lakers. The Atlanta Hawks hosting the Denver Nuggets. The Cleveland Cavaliers hosting Leslie Stowe's Orlando's Magic. The Boston Celtics will host the Miami Heat. The Memphis Grizzlies host the 76ers tonight. The San Antonio Spurs will be hosting the Pelicans. The Utah Jazz host the Utah host the Indiana Pacers. The Phoenix Suns host the Houston Rockets, and lastly, the Golden State Warriors are due to host the Chicago Bulls tonight. Uh, I don't know. Maybe the Lakers Bucks game might be the interesting game of the night. I don't know.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. The only competition it has is Heat Celtics.
Hmm. Yeah,
Um,
because you don't know what you're gonna get there. Does Buckets get it in? Does he show up? I don't know. Bulls Warriors might be some comp.
I think the Celtics is gonna put hands on the Heat. This is a back to back. They just played on Wednesday, Celtics Heat, and
Hmm.
Celtics beat them down. Like it was one of them losses where it's like we just need to wrap it up and go on back to Miami.
Yeah,
So the fact
134,
that they're
121. Mm-hmm.
the fact that they're still up in Boston, cold and shivering over a couple of days, um, I'm gonna be paying attention to that. If the Heat can upset Boston, it'll tell us a lot about them. But if Boston, beat them down again, there's gonna be another stint in Jason Tatum's belt notch for MVP champion.
So as we shift over to the into the as we shift over to the NFL, we know there was a game last night. Buffalo Bills faced off against the New England Patriots. Josh Allen, 22 for 33, 223 yards with 2 touchdowns. James Cook, 14 carries for 64 yards. Devin Singletary, 13 carries for 51 yards himself and 1 touchdown. Josh Allen, 8 carries for 20 yards. Stephon Diggs, 7 for 92 and a touchdown. Isaiah McKinley, 5 for 44. James Cook, 6 for 41. Naheem Hines was 1 for 21. Gabe Davis, 2 receptions for 15 yards and a touchdown. Singletary, and then Khalil Secure, 1 reception for 1 touchdown. The Patriots had Mac Jones, 22 for 36, 195 yards, 1 touchdown. Ramondre Stevenson, 10 carries for 54 yards. Mac Jones had 3 for 7. Marcus Jones, the corner, 2 receptions for 51 yards, taking his first offensive snap and play to the house. We get 1 touchdown last night. Tyquan Thornton was 2 for 31. Mondre Stevenson, 6 for 24. Jacoby Myers was 3 for 22. Aguilera had 2 receptions for 17. Devontae Parker was 2 for 16. Kendrick Bourne 1 for 15, and Hunter Henry 2 for 13. As Buffalo, of course, comes away with the win, winning their first division game, 93 on the season, 1-2 in the division. The Patriots fall to 6-6, 500 with 5 games left in the season. First and foremost, Ron, do you think Josh Allen, Superman-esque season is slowly but surely coming to a halt, to where he's being delegated back down to a good quarterback?
That's been the case.
Oh, okay.
Right. That came in the fourth quarter. Back-to-back interceptions. Game against who were they playing? I should have been on this. It's over. I am shocked that they to the Jets.
Yeah,
There we go. 17-20. There we go. That was 2 weeks ago. I'm surprised they beat the Patriots this bad in Foxborough, in New England. Very impressive win. But the Bills exposed themselves. I mean, Josh Allen exposed himself. Their defense got worn out. They might get healthier as the season ends, but Buffalo, same old Buffalo. That same old 4 championship losing straight Buffalo. They're gonna be, you know what they are? They're a roller coaster. They're wild. Josh Allen is excitement. He's a freight train, just running. He's like Vin Diesel in Fast and the Furious. Man, it was about when they really started to spread away from the Patriots last night. He's just running down the field. He's running out of bounds, and right before he steps out of bounds, he completely shifts his entire body. No hip movement or anything. Just takes the arm just straight like that without using the shoulder, arms, or anything. 30-yard touchdown pass to get Gabriel in zone. Like, how did he just change his whole body from going? And I'm just like, wow, that was Josh Allen. He just did that. Roller coaster, freight train.
Of course, when you look at it, some of the stuff and what you said is definitely some things to take in consideration. Mac Jones yesterday was seen noticeably having a tantrum and explosion as he was like, throw the effing ball, because he said that the short yardage wasn't doing anything. He said he was frustrated. He just needed a spark. He felt like they wasn't being aggressive enough, especially when you look at it. It was versus a defense that was without Von Miller, as Von Miller has been placed on IR, and he's going to miss at least the next 4 games. So, meaning he won't come back until their final game, I think against Cincinnati or something like that, because he's out for the lateral meniscus damage. So, you know what I'm saying, they're basically against players that, you know what I'm saying, are inferior to they're not bad, but just not the same player. So he really felt like they should have been doing more, or should have got more taken care of, and it didn't happen last night. So currently 6-6. Honestly, there's some that was brung up. Matt Patricia is currently the offensive coordinator, who is a D guy. So there's obviously a difference in what last year's offense looked at with Josh McDaniels at the OC position compared to Patricia or Joe Judge as coordinators. So I asked this question: do you think a defensive coordinator can actually be a formidable offensive coordinator, or vice versa?
Only if his name is Bill Belichick. I don't know what Patricia's doing. I don't know what's going on in New England. It's hilarious, but we safely identified the problem behind the offense, and it is Matt Patricia. And Bill Belichick just is okay with it. It's wow. He's doing all kinds of crazy, abnormal schemes throughout the Patriots offense this year, and it's going to be his last. But Since we're talking about the Patriots, you saw who's rumored to come back, right?
I seen that. I don't believe it. I ain't even give any angst. Do you even think that would be a good idea?
I've been listening to some of my favorite Tom Brady Patriot people, and I'm at the point where I have no choice but to believe it's about 90% chance that it happens. That's where I'm at right now with it. 90%.
Hmm. Do you think it's based off of just to reunite for like a last run, or do you think it's based off of something different, like uh
Everybody wins. No one. The only thing that gets in the way of it happening is Bill Belichick. He's the only person that doesn't win. Kraft wins, Brady wins, Patriot fans wins, the Patriot quarterbacks wins, we win, Bucks. I don't know if they really win, but this ain't about them. Brady is not done. He's divorced, is what he is. He's married to the game now. He's married to the game, Trey. He ain't going nowhere. What is Tom Brady gonna go do? They said, what Tom Brady gonna do? Go do Fox games with Tony Romo? Ain't no way. He he's coming back to New England. One last hoorah, and go out the way we all need to see him in that Foxborough blue.
hmm, interesting. Yeah, I get very sure there's more to develop on that. So it'll be interesting to see. Uh, so I don't know. Uh, I
I think the biggest thing is that he was just at Kraft's the owner's wedding.
wedding.
Yeah, a week or two ago. In the middle of a work week when you preparing for a Thursday night game, disappearing on a Wednesday to go to a wedding.
I guess only two people in history can do that. One being Tom Brady, the other being this guy who's basically has come out and said that if the team decided to if they were out of playoff contention, he would be open to being put shelved. Of course, that's Aaron Rodgers, who said he is fine. Just as DJ is saying, Aaron's done too. Aaron Rodgers said if the team is out of contention, he's fine with being benched and letting Jordan Love get into the fray.
I think Aaron Rodgers makes like somewhere probably close to $5 million a game. I'd be all right with sitting on the bench too and counting my money. Deciding what to invest my portfolio. Looking at all the different cryptos. Planning a trade destination. That's really the question. Does Green Bay bring Aaron Rodgers back?
So, what do you think about this situation with your man, um, AB?
Antonio Brown?
Yes. Yesterday there was a warrant issued for his arrest
Oh
uh,
my Lord.
due to the fact that it was supposedly a domestic altercation that it was taken that ensued earlier in the week, in which he supposedly threw a shoe at a young woman and looking to evict her, he threw her out the house and locked her out. So yesterday, there was a arrest warrant issued for his arrest, in which he was, of course, it was rumored that it was a standoff, but then it was said that they didn't know if he was in the house or was or was not in the house, so they couldn't confirm that completely. Um, so in state was. Additionally, also they tried to someone put in a petition to remove his ability to have possession of firearms and weapons, in which the judge denied because they said that he was a harm to himself and others. So that was removed. But instead is he was um, given a arrest warrant in which in in relation with the domestic batteries incident. Mm.
Way too much.
Oh, AB, he'll find a way. Um, so additionally, some barbs was thrown. These barbs this time. Remember the last time someone threw barbs at a player from Cincinnati directly. They were locked down, and Cincinnati got the win. In that case, it was Tyreek Hill win at Eli Apple, in which his cohorts came to his aid, and they basically locked down Tyreek Hill. This time, in a case of mistaken identity, um, safety Justin Reed for Kansas City stated that he was going to lock down tight end Hunter Hurst, in which Hunter Hurst didn't understand it. Of course, what it was revealed is that Reed was actually speaking on T. Higgins. But in any case, he's going to lock him down too. Um, so now you have a situation to where yet again you have a situation to where someone has took a shot at someone from the Cincinnati Bengals organization or team, and now the team plans to come to the aid. Do you see this going well for the Kansas City Chiefs?
Absolutely.
We're not going to have the same situation. Kansas City gets the win regardless.
I feel like the revenge factor momentum is going to be hitting for them regardless.
Mm-hmm.
Who was talking trash on Kansas City?
Uh, it was Kansas City who the
Was
safety Justin
it
Reed.
Justin Reed?
Yes.
Jamar Chase is supposedly coming back this game.
Is he? I didn't look and see. I didn't see where it said.
If he's not, um, that's even worse for the Bengals. Uh, Reed can talk trash because he knows who his quarterback is. He's being bold this season.
I think Mixon is coming back. Mixon's another one that I hope Mixon is coming back. I need him. I think Mixon comes back. I don't know about Chase. Where's Cincinnati?
They're both possible. Two and a possible. But Mixon looks like he's coming back off a concussion, so he should be good.
Yeah, Mixon concussion, Jamar Chase hip, Jr. DJ Reader ankle, and Tuapu calf. Need him in my lineup. Um, Another person coming back, Ron. It's funny that you saying that is coming back. Hold on, let me before I go on. Kansas City Chiefs. Another person. It's funny that you say that. Yeah, limited practice. Did not practice. Full practice. Full practice. So Jamar Chase and Joe Mixon both limited practices. Josh Tuwupu and Lael Collins are full practice, and DJ Reader did not practice or participate. I'm sorry. Um, Another person that's getting ready to make his return, coming back, Cleveland quarterback. Oh,
Oh,
Chase Young is back. Cleveland quarterback Deshaun Watson looks to make his re-entry into the NFL. His first play in roughly 2 years, but definitely first play in 2 seasons in regular season play. Deshaun Watson plans to make his return. Of course, in grand fashion, he was be playing against his former team, the Houston Texans, in which some of his accusers are expected to be a game. So, a couple questions I have for this round. Of course, one, do you think he'll be rattled by his accusers being there?
No. I feel like he's a he's beyond,
He's gotten
I,
over that point. It's not going to affect him.
he's already been through it all. Yeah.
And then, of course, the second question is, can Deshaun play savior, win these next 6 games, and get his team into a playoff position? They're currently 4-7 on the year. Him winning these 4 games will put them in at 10-7. Who do they have the rest of the year?
They absolutely have a cakewalk this week, returning back to Houston.
Mm-hmm. Let me see you.
But
Browns schedule.
I feel like I know we're going to be doing our picks here shortly.
Mm-hmm.
A Houston upset would not be shocking. To spoil the party of Deshaun Watson's return.
The Browns have the Texans this week. They have Cincinnati next week. They have the Ravens the week after that. They have the Saints for Christmas Eve. They have the Commanders and the Steelers.
All winnable games.
They are. I was about to say the same thing. The only one that they probably that may not be that winnable is Washington, as they're pretty hot right now.
Wow, you say Washington over Cincinnati and
But
Baltimore.
I was about to say the other two, so they could potentially be 3-3 in this. But all those are winnable games, as you stated. I do believe that.
No, I was going to say out of those 6 teams, the best team that I saw was Washington too. Freaking crazy. Washington is better than Cincinnati and Baltimore.
So as Anthony said, Ron trusts Baltimore. No Watson can't see nobody from the suites. So it's yeah. So Cleveland can put themselves in prime position. There's likely they're going to take care of business against Texans this weekend. The Bengals, I don't know what's going to happen when they catch them. Ravens as well, as they've been playing. We all know Ravens are prone to give up a late lead. So as long as Cleveland presumably gives them the lead, they can walk up from behind and catch them. The Saints.
So Deshaun Watson's best attribute is his athleticism.
Mm-hmm.
And before he went down for his injury, this is so long ago. This is 2 years ago. I thought he was better than Mahomes. Like this is fresh off of Mahomes' Super Bowl before Deshaun Watson went down with his injury, before all the allegations, before all of that.
Uh-huh.
So how good is he going to be with this Cleveland team?
Peoples is emerging.
I think it's
you have Chubb that's there. Njoku is there. Who's their number one receiver?
Amari.
Yeah, Amari Cooper. Yeah, is there. They have weapons, in my opinion.
What? You didn't even name their running backs, which is a lot of them.
Yeah, they have West. They have Chubb. They have what's his name? Who's their number 2? Their second string running back.
Kareem.
Yeah, Kareem Hunt. They have weapons. It's possible if he can come in and do better than what was enacted by Brissett, then it's very possible. We can see a completely different outcome when it comes to them potentially making the standings. Like currently, where they're at AFC, Cleveland is 4-7 in their division. If they're able to get the 2 wins versus the Bengals and the Bills, Bengals and the Ravens, that will that will make them 6-7 with a win also versus the Texans. That'll make them 7-7. That would put that was presumably put Bengals and the Ravens into a 7-5 category. Potentially, the Bengals could lose to Kansas City on Sunday night. That will make them 7-6. Uh, it's possible. I mean, it's very possible. They might not catch the Ravens, but they can potentially slide in as a. Can they slide in as a 7 seed in the 7 seed? Let me see. 1, 2, 3,
Which means they be
4.
play a Miami Buffalo game.
There's currently they sit behind. Oh, see the Dolphins, 5, 6. Oh, that makes it hard. It makes it hard because all the AFC East is better than anyone else currently. It's the Chargers you still have, so it starts to kind of like figure itself out. Bad the same as his first preseason game. Plus, Boston's having took a big hit to see if he's fully back. Let's see with the percent surprising with last week's win against over the Bucks. I give him that. Um, so yeah, so damn, the AFC East is actually pretty good. The NFC and AFC East is like on one this year. Goodness,
It's shocking.
9-3, 8-3, 7-4, 6-6. Mm. So right now it's the Titans, the Ravens, the Bengals, the Chiefs, the Chargers. Correction, not the Chargers. It's the Bills, Dolphins, Jets, Chiefs, Ravens, Titans, and Bengals. That are sitting, and the Patriots are just on the outside. Patriots and the Chargers currently sit on the outside of that. When it comes to who, if the playoffs are starting right now, and of course in the West or in the National Conference NFC, you got the Eagles, the Cowboys, the 49ers, the Vikings, the Buccaneers, the Giants, and the Commanders. Who would have thunk it? Dolphins are looking good, Leslie, of course. Yes. So, of course, with that being said, Ron, let's get to these games and who we think walks away this week. Let me get out my handy dandy pencil and pad to tally where we're at currently. Uh, who won the game on Monday night?
The Steelers?
Yes, it did. It was the Steelers. So, of course, yeah, with that win, of course, we all lost. So last week we were finished the week at 9-6 for you and Bishop. Myself at 10-5. It gave us a 9-6, 96-64 for Bishop currently, 99-62 for yourself. Just one game. Well, actually, you're at 100 now because from last night's win, and I'm at 93 But let me see. I transferred over. As Bishop did not get his pick in. Unfortunate. Uh, so you had Buffalo. I had Buffalo, which equals 2 days. So currently, you're at 162 on the year. I'm at 93 and 69 on the year. And Bishop currently sits at 96 and 64 on the year. Starting this week off with a 1-0 victory. I feel pretty good now because I've gone 4-0 in the last 2 weeks when it comes to the Thursday night games. Thursday games, I'm feeling it, but my Monday, I got to get my Monday night games up. So of course, with that being said, Ron, this week coming up, let me get back to NFL. This week's games: Green Bay and Chicago.
This is tough. Already.
Actually, this one I think has a few tough ones, especially when you don't know who you're going to get. We don't know if Jordan Love is going to be the starter, if it's going to be Aaron Rodgers. Justin Fields still has a torn shoulder. We don't know what we're going to get with him. So yeah. On this one, I think we'll go with Green Bay. We'll stay with Green Bay. Green Bay over the Bears.
Justin Fields still out, right?
Yes.
Yeah. If Justin Fields was playing, give me Green Bay.
The next game, of course, the still Atlanta Falcons versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. Atlanta is the home team.
This one's easy for me. Pittsburgh, me.
When does I haven't taken a look. When does Watt comes back?
He's been back.
Oh, I'm tripping.
Yep, he got back 2 games ago.
Okay, well, Pittsburgh, me as well.
Yeah.
Equalizer. Next up, the Vikings versus the Jets. Another tough one in my opinion. You don't know what Jets team you're gonna get. You don't know what Vikings team you're gonna get. It is not a primetime game.
Yeah, I'm taking Vikings in a non-prime time game. Kirk Cousins don't lose these.
Around with the Minnesota. I think it's a safe bet to go with Minnesota as well. Although Salah has something going on in Pittsburgh, but I mean Vikings, but I don't think Mike White can strike twice in a bottle. Could catch lightning twice in a bottle. He's probably due for a stomping. Yes, the Jets do have a defense tracking, but Minnesota has an offense. Next game, the Detroit Lions and the Jacksonville Jaguars. Detroit, of course, being home. I think Detroit is due one. I'm going with the Lions. I think Duval is going to come off a emotional high, and Detroit is there to rip them apart.
That is a very great point. Wow, this is a trash bowl. These are two teams that I hate this making a decision about. And their quarterback numbers: Trevor Lawrence 16-6, Jared Goff 17-7, touchdown to interceptions. Both got 2,600 passing yards, about the same completions, and I don't know who to pick. Let's go with the home team, Detroit.
D-Town.
love I love what you said about the coming off an emotional high, a win.
Our next up, who we got next up? Titans versus the Eagles. Fly, Eagle, fly. Eagles in their home stadium taking on Tennessee. Uh, they shored up enough that would make it possible for them to get through um, where Derrick Henry is not just running rampant on their line. Who you got? Eagles or Titans? The Eagles. Philly. This is a hard one for me, but I remain Philly at this particular time. Although I do think it could this could be an L for the Eagles. Next up, as the aforementioned, Cleveland versus the Texans. I think we both,
Man.
yeah. Watson gets this W. Next up, a hard one: the New York Giants and the Washington Commanders. Does Saquon continue to? Does he get fed to where he runs? We know when Saquon is having a good game, the Giants are winning. Is this one of those games? We have Chase coming back. Does he make the difference? I myself am going to continue to ride the Commanders train. Salute, Ron. What's your pick?
I'm going to go with the second best team in the NFL, the C words, the Commanders.
Okay, Taylor, it's your time. Next up, the San Francisco 49ers playing host to the Miami Dolphins. McDaniel versus Shanahan. Of course, I'm going to continue to ride with my Niners. Although I could be wrong. Ron, are you riding with me, or are you riding on the fence?
Uh, Best defense in the league. I think the Niners is ready to punch somebody in the mouth and show that they for real. I'm rolling with them.
Roger that. Eric Armstead's back in the fray. Starting to build our defense back up. Jack Rabbit Jenkins signed to the practice squad. Let's go. Leslie, you believe they have it? If possible. Ron, did you say the second best team? Washington, I'm about to cry, learning you trust Washington.
6-1 in the last 7 or something like that. After starting the season 1-4, I have no choice but to say that. I got them this week.
Next up, the Seattle Seahawks versus the Los Angeles Rams.
Seahawks.
Clearly. Unfortunate.
What the heck is a Ram?
The Los Angeles Chargers will be traveling to Las Vegas to do battle with their division rival, the Las Vegas Raiders.
You got an idea?
I'm going with Los Angeles Chargers. I think I think Williams is possibly coming back. They already have Allen that's back. Of course, we know Eckler is there.
Didn't
Oakland
Devontae
are the
go out?
who did?
Did Devontae Adams get injured?
Did he get injured? I don't think he did. No, I don't think. But Devontae is Devontae injured. Let me see.
No, I'm not seeing anything.
No, I think he's good to go.
I don't know where I thought I saw that. I want to take the
The Raiders.
yeah. Give me the Raiders. Raiders, me baby. Speaking of teams that's still alive,
Next up, the Sunday night. Oh no, not the Sunday night game. The next up, the Chiefs and the Bengals.
the Raiders. Chiefs.
KC is KC. And lastly, for the last game of Sunday for the Sunday, of course, you know Monday we make our picks. Usually, the Dallas Cowboys hosting the Indianapolis Colts. Does Jeff Saturday get yet another win at the expense of Dak and the Cowboys? Do the Cowboys continue to keep the pressure on the Philadelphia Eagles? Of course, if the put it one game closer, if the Eagles fall off and they have an opportunity to win, Ron, you got the Cowboys or the Colts?
Cowboys.
Yeah, it sounds good. I just hope Taylor goes off. That's all I need from there. Or Taylor and I need Taylor and Pittman for the most part. Anything else I can do without. So the Cowboys. So yep. So basically we got the same. We look the same until Cleveland. I mean, until Las Vegas and the Chargers. Besides that, we're the same across the board.
We got all of the same picks except the Chargers and the Raiders game.
Yep. Green Bay, Pittsburgh, Minnesota, Detroit, Philly, Cleveland, Washington, San Francisco, Seattle, Las Vegas. You have the Chargers. I have the Chargers. I mean, I have the Chargers. You have the Raiders, and then we continue on Kansas City and Dallas.
Damn.
Yep. Although I did almost go left on the Minnesota game.
I almost went with the Jaguars. Are we sleeping on the Falcons?
Uh I thought about that too, but then when you told me that Watt is back, I was like, no, we're not gonna do that.
Yeah.
Although Atlanta almost did pull it out against last week, but I will keep with what I have. Don't second guess myself. Although, let me see, for practice, is there any limited practice? Leon did not practice. Kadarius Tony, Juju, he was full of participation. Derek McKinnon did not practice for Kansas City. Who else? Justin Watson, Marquez Scantling was a full participant. So yeah, so it's likely they're in good hands. So Kansas City, so I could keep that as well. Kansas City might pull this out. So of course that is we got about 10 minutes. That that could potentially be a wrap. Let me see. Wait. Let me see. I think I had something else. Who's your picks right now, Ron, for it to represent the AFC and the NFC.
Chiefs
Mm.
versus probably somebody from the AFC East. In my soul, I feel like it's gonna be Chiefs Bills, and that's what everybody wants. That's what everybody deserves.
Do we want to see that again, though?
I feel like a lot of folks want to see Miami up in that party. South, we don't want to see any South team. In North, man, I'm in love with Lamar Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
I can't trust their defense or anything about the organization. The Bengals is starting to get their mojo back.
They are.
Kicked against them. Uh, let's see what they look like. They could sneak back in there, but who I want, Trey? I want to see Cleveland.
Mm.
Cleveland versus the Chiefs in the playoffs. That will shake up everything about this game that we love. But Chiefs Bills, the Bills are really good. The Chiefs are really good, and I don't think a lot of folks is close. And in the NFC, it's easy. The Niners and the Eagles.
Mm.
Maybe the Cowboys have something to say about that.
I could get down with that. Anthony says the Dolphins and the Chiefs. That would be interesting.
It's easy to stop the Dolphins, though.
Let me see, what did Anthony just say? The Cowboys have to win the playoff game first.
Who has to win the playoff game first? Cowboys.
Cowboys.
That's why I said maybe, but I'll.
Stranger things have happened, so it can, at this point, it can go many of ways. But of course, we'll have to wait to see that. I guess we could call that a day, a day. But I asked this, Ron, tonight, who you got, Utah or USC?
USC. Let's go, baby. Welcome to the Big Ten. We got 3 schools in the top 5.
That is the way to look at it.
What'd you say?
I said that definitely is a way to look at it. Look at Anthony, go Utah. Why they hate Anthony? Because Oregon's not there.
SEC, move out the way.
That's going to be a problem for you. Yes, that does pose a problem. But the 12 they approved the 12 games, so the 12 games start not this season, but not next season, but the season after that, 12-game playoff.
12 teams.
12 teams in the CFP.
It's gonna be the Wild Wild West, I tell you. Wild Wild West.
I think with that, you have more likely of opportunity to see the same teams over and over again than you do in the CFP. I mean, in the current format. Now I think about it.
The same teams are going to be the winners.
Yeah, with 12 teams, I think that's the opportunity for those teams that haven't been able to crack the top 4 are now going to be able to crack the top 12 consistently.
So you're saying this is bad?
I'm not gonna say it's bad. So no, I'm about to say it's bad because you have this opportunity for the same teams to get in, but you don't have the opportunity for the same results. So it switches, I think. With 12 teams getting in, you're probably going to see the same ones. So think about it. You're probably you're going to see Alabama's going to be consistent, most likely. Georgia's possibly going to be consistent. Ohio and Michigan are going to be consistent. That's 4 teams right there. Um, Oregon potentially, Utah maybe. Now a USC now. Uh, okay, not maybe not but all three of them, but LSU possibly right now. So if that was, you would see consistently the same teams over and over again. But of course, they haven't came out with what the format would be. Is it going to be a guarantee for the six champion, the six the five champions in the Big Five, Power Five? Is that going to be consistent? And then you're going to get other ones, or the rest are at larges? Like, how's it going to go? And that's what we don't know yet. So if you looked at the top 12 teams right now, then the CFP, what are CFP rankings? Right now, CFP rankings, if we was to look at it, would have the top 12 would be Georgia, Michigan, TCU, USC. That's top four. Ohio State, Alabama, 6. Tennessee at 7. Penn State at 8. 9 is Clemson. 10 is Kansas State. 11 is Utah. And number 12 is Washington. 5 Pac-12 teams would be in the top 12. Well, correction, 4. So 3. I mean, I'm sorry, 3. So you know they're not going to going forth not mindset in 2 years from now. They're probably not going to allow that. They're going to sit up and look at, do we put all these teams from this certain from this division in, and that's going to probably be something to look at too. So I think as long as this has human committees, it's going to be a problem, because they're going to make a difference on who, what, when, where, why. Georgia, SEC. Who was another SEC? Ohio State, Tennessee. 3 teams in the top team. I mean, the top 12. Pac-12 has 3 teams in the top 12. Michigan has from the Big Ten has Michigan, Ohio State, Penn State in the top 12. So that's 9 teams already, with only 3 teams. Only 3. That's 9 teams from 9 teams already. 3 from three conferences. Then TCU is the Big 12, so that's 1 and 2 for the Big 12. Kansas State and TCU. And so the only lone team that's from a different conference is Clemson, and 1 from the ACC. So that's 1 from the ACC, 2 from the Big 12, 3 from SEC, 3 from the Big 10, and 3 from the Pac-12 in the top 12 of the CFP currently.
That's not bad.
So it's like that. So it's like consistently that could be the same thing when you got, then you in waiting with the next, let's just say the next 5 is Florida State, a ACC team, LSU, a SEC team, Oregon State, a Pac-12 team, Oregon, a Pac-12 team, and UCLA, a Pac-12 team. So USC has 6 teams in the top 25 CFP. And the audacity to sit up and say USC, the Pac-12 is weak.
College football is a wild place. It's all over.
So of course, like Anthony said, Deion Sanders leaving Jacksonville State. That's something to close out on. You think that's possible, Ron? Does Deion leave, or does he stay put?
I think he got 1 more year to do it all over again. I wouldn't go to anywhere if it wasn't that big stage, that where I can win a natty, type of organization.
Mm.
If you're not going there to like LSU or Ohio State or a major organization like that, why would leave Jackson State, your HBCU undefeated juggernaut, if you're not going to go win it all? So, what would be the point of going to Colorado? Was my question.
Yeah, Colorado wouldn't be the place. Definitely. I wouldn't definitely go to Colorado, but I would wonder about going to any smaller tier Division One team or Power Five conference team. Do you think he needs some time to cut his teeth in that type of division, or you think he's just saying he's ready to jump into any position, any coaching, um, coaching any large name school if it's available? Let's say Cincinnati. Let's say Cincinnati, since we know Fickle has left Cincinnati to go to Wisconsin. Would it potentially, if Cincinnati is like, you know what, Dion, come to us, would that be a job in which he could potentially
I put them right in the category with Colorado.
Colorado?
Where are you going to Cincinnati to go do, sir? Um, the most important position when it comes to being a college football coach is recruiting. So wherever he goes, I feel like he's going to be great at it. And when it comes to coaching, that's honestly about making sure the right people around you, your right linebackers and lineman coach and assistants and offensive defensive coordinators. Dion could get it done if he goes to one of these. There's no doubt in my mind if he would go to one of these premier programs that he can't win a championship or at least make it to the playoffs. But hey, everybody making it to the playoffs soon. 12 teams. So what the heck?
So, of course, that's our time for today. We greatly appreciate y'all rocking with us. Saying, having a little conversation, walking us back. Those that was able to be here, of course, Anthony Price, Leslie Stowe. We had Coach Uriah, Coach Walcott. Let's go Trojans tonight. Commissioner Myers, DJ, of course, frat brother, fighter. All appreciate y'all tapping in with us this morning. Eric Smalls, of course. He had to talk this morning. Be sure to check in with us again on Monday as we come back. We go over the teams that we list, and maybe we should have Bishop back. I know they're out in North Carolina, correction, in Nashville, as we looked, like I said earlier, to cross some more individuals into the organization, both Cyro-Phi and Cyro-Chi. So of course that is also a momentous occasion as well. So yeah, we should be back here. We look forward to tapping in again so we can talk about it. By then we'll know what the CFP, who's going to the championship. We can start to tap in on some of these bowl games, over 30 bowl games, to see who gets what, who's going where, and talk about that. So plenty more to talk about. Maybe talk about some World Cup, get into the college basketball as that's in full swing. Plenty more to discuss and talk about. Y'all can do it right here. Ron, any words before we get up out of here, brother?
Enjoy your weekend. Welcome to December. It's the end game.
It's almost over. It's almost been a full year. Again, greatly appreciate y'all. See y'all on Monday. Peace. Enjoy your weekend.